Welcome back, guys. This is Full Loaf over here in the house. This is a Bread Brothers weekly podcast for second week of February. We got Ibby in the house, Tony, and my man Ryan. How you guys feeling?
Good. Excited to see what we've got prepared today.
I am actually pumped, man. We've got the full team here today, so it's going to be an amazing episode. I can't wait to hear what you have to say, Sammy.
As always, this is not financial advice. This is just the Bread Brothers talking about what's going on in the market and sharing some news from last week, just recapping what happened. So let's get straight into it. Let me share my screen and show you boys what's happening on the markets right now. So here we got Bitcoin on the weekly chart. We're starting to move up a little bit, but as I can tell you, we might get a move up. This is the zone that I'm looking at, pretty much 55 to 61 for a potential reversal. And then we'll see what happens after that. But for now, I'm expecting some green candles, some green days to be up ahead, boys, because we've got MACD weakening, crossing up. We've got stochastic RSI coming out of oversold, and we got this little green dot on the momentum indicator. But other than that, it's sweet. So let's move into our next thing that I want to show you guys is also a Bitcoin dominance update. This 2-year trend line you can see there. You see that, Ray? You see that, Ray?
I see that, man. I see that.
You know what's going to happen? If we get rejected here, if we get rejected here, your bank account's going to go green again. But if we cross that yellow line, that's your warning shot. And if we cross that red line, it's game over. GG for altcoins, pretty much.
We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want GG.
That's a key. That's the key levels to look out for. Now, just quickly before I get too far, we'll just go through the agenda for this little podcast. So that's a market updates. I'll go through portfolio updates. Ibby will go through some altcoin news. I'll look at some on-chain analysis. Got Tony will look into some government and politics in the crypto space. Ryan's got a lot to discuss about companies and institutions, and we'll wrap it up with some other news in the markets. How's that sound?
Sounds great, man. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Sounds amazing, bro. Let's do it.
You got to give me some of that. All right, portfolio updates. So the last week I pretty much called Theta out because this is on the weekly chart. Theta, came back. You jumped into it there, did you? You backed the truck up right there?
Yeah.
All right, good, because we're in profit so far on that Theta move. What else did we look at? We looked at Phantom as well. So this one didn't quite work out, but it came down on that support. But basically, if we get any lower, I might get into it. So Phantom didn't look that too good. But here for Tony, the Link Marine. Keep loading up in there, man.
Get it right, Sammy. He's a general, not a Marine.
He's a general. As long as Link holds this red zone, it's worth buying and accumulating. So that's pretty much our portfolio updates. And
if it breaks the red zone, I'm staying with it.
That's it. Hodl on, man. Hodl on.
Ride or die, right? All right, guys, let's have a look at what's happening in altcoin news. Quickly having a look at this. We've got the top 10 Ethereum burners. I'm going to speak about the OpenSea there. You can see that there's about $843 million burn, which is great. So just pointing that out. Moving on to the next one, top 8 marketplace in volume. We can clearly see that LooksRare is doing quite well in comparison to OpenSea, guys. There's 1.3 billion to 1.1 billion. Yes, Sam.
Do you reckon that's a lot of wash trading happening at LooksRare? Or do you guys think that this is the up and coming marketplace?
Well, yeah, go on, Tony. I want to hear what you have to say.
As someone who's like pretty balls deep in NFTs right now, I wouldn't say it's like ready to take over OpenSea. It's like OpenSea still got the herd mentality. If you want to show someone your NFT, you look at OpenSea. But just like everything, it's going to have its competitor, and LooksRare is showing its strength. So I'm not surprised to see it, especially because they're giving so much rewards for your purchases.
Yeah,
and also
I'm keen on jumping onto
the question I wanted
token.
to ask is, I think you can place the same NFT on both marketplaces.
Yep, you can.
Right? So a lot of people have probably listed in both marketplaces, and it's just depending on which one catches it. So I don't know how correct the data would be.
As an investor, you're much better off listing on LooksRare right now because you get rewards and Looks token.
So
I'm keen on jumping on that Looks token as well.
All right, let's move along, guys. Moving on to the next news. Looking at this, Snoop Dogg is launching his music records on Gala, which is pretty exciting. But I'm a bit confused as well because I knew that Gala was just a gaming network. What are they doing with music on Gala? That's a question that
NFTs.
Yeah, I understand that NFTs, but you know what I mean? It's like a different type of industry try to entering. What do you guys reckon?
Well, I know Gala is big in play to earn gaming. Like it's got Town Star, it's got a few other games.
Yeah.
And I do still think it's going to be Year of the Gala. I'm quite surprised to see that you can do that with Gala though. How he's releasing his music on Gala. I want to look into that. Maybe one of us can get some answers there.
Awesome. Moving on to the next one, guys. So this is another ticker here, which is XCUR. Crypto Revolution is a guy that I've been following for a while, and he's always giving these little gems that come out. This is probably another NFT project to look out for. It's doing exceptionally well. I think, Sammy, you've got a bit of insight in this. Do you want to explain a bit?
Yeah, it's called Curate. Just check it out. This is a full roadmap. It's got Binance Pay integration coming in, P2P, staking rewards. So there is a lot of news stacked for Q1. That's all you got to know. It's stacked with news in first quarter, and they do well. And if the market's pumping, is stuff that has a lot of news stacked, and all of this news is stacked to be released at the end of March. So keep that on your radar. That's
Definitely.
what I'm saying.
Moving on. So looking at the top 10 coins mentioned in Twitter. Now, this is very interesting because this kind of shows where the market sentiment is and what people are thinking. As we can see that, Bitcoin, big boy daddy there is always going to be #1 rating there. You can see that the Ethereum's still there. What really annoys me, and which Shibu, whenever Shibu starts pumping or Doge starts pumping, I start saying, is retail coming back in? I don't know. That's what I'm thinking, guys. What do you guys reckon about that?
Well, whenever I see ETH at the top mentions, I just think of Ryan and his Twitter post tagging 100 different tags.
Yeah, all of us on the Bread Brothers. And by the way, guys, if you're listening, please like and subscribe to the Bread Brothers and follow us on Twitter so you can see all our hashtags. But yeah, look, I think whenever I see SHIB and Doge, I just think of Elon Musk pumping everything up, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's where it comes from.
Yeah, it's all his cronies all his fans. Yeah.
All right, guys, moving on to the last two sections I want quickly. And guys, getting straight into it, Pierce Gasly, one of the top F1 drivers out there. Now, there's something big in this, but you probably don't see it. So let's zoom up. Hopefully, if it opens up. Sammy, do you want to point out the obvious?
So what you got is crypto branding, Phantom Network. They've got their branding on this new Formula One car. It looks amazing. So this is huge, I think, because crypto was never advertised like this in the past. I mean, you didn't really have crypto ads in the Super Bowl in previous. Everyone in the previous bull runs and, from 2010 to 2017 dreamed of seeing crypto out there in advertisements, but it was just mocked. But now what do you get at? You're seeing Phantom advertised, not in a random rugby team or something like that. It's being advertised in Formula One. So what does this mean? Formula One and golf is the two biggest sporting industry where the rich pay attention to. That's the rich man sport. And you're not going to freaking advertise McDonald's or something like that on a prestigious sporting event like that. So Phantom is right up there. Crypto is being advertised to the rich audience. That's my takeaway with this.
I was hoping that Phantom would make a bigger signage on the Formula One car there rather than just a little shitty small Phantom that barely anyone can see. That's my take on it. Anyway.
It's the first one. It's the first logo to grow when he crashes into the barrier.
It's gonna crash. What do you reckon, Ryan? Are you a Phantom holder?
No, I was a Phantom holder for about 15 minutes. No, I was a Phantom holder for a very short time, but no, I don't have any Phantom at the moment.
No,
what's the logo right at the front? Is that a crypto logo as well, or?
No, that's the brand, racing brand AlphaTauri.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think it's the little company of Red Bull. It's their little sister company.
There you go. All right, guys, moving on to the last bit, and that is it from me. Now, I'm a big Cardano fan. Cardano, as you can see, the volume is increasing. But it's just depending on how people interpret it. There's a lot of Charles Hodgkinson fan, and then there's some that are not. You get people like Alex Becker, who basically hates Cardano and always funds any Cardano holders. But I believe in Cardano. I think he'll do quite well. But I just wanted to kind of show that Cardano is basically the highest volume that's coming through, in comparison to anything at the moment out there in the ecosystems. What do you guys reckon?
Why do you guys think that is? Why are they the highest?
Look, it's transaction volume. So it could be wash trading. That's why I'm always skeptic of. But I've seen the developer activity on Cardano grow exponentially. I've seen the wallet addresses on Cardano grow. We're seeing transaction volume grow. All the metrics are growing and pumping. So for me, it's very bullish. So I don't know. I think we're just at that inflection point of adoption for the Cardano network, Ryan, where it's starting to take off. That's my take. All right, guys, let's go through some on-chain data, and then we'll go through some stuff with Tony about government and politics. So let's hit it up. So some on-chain data, what we can see is this is the Lightning network, and you can see its capacity is just going higher and higher, new all-time high. So even though Bitcoin is down and out at the moment, this is very bullish for the fundamental, usage and adoption of Bitcoin. The Lightning network is constantly growing. What we got here is, you can see this heat map. Basically, if you zoom in, you can see whales and small fish have been accumulating in this region. So this is what you want to see. Whenever whales are accumulating, Bitcoin pretty much, they're the smart money, basically. It's a good opportunity to buy. So yeah, buy the dip over there.
I just asked Tony, he's the whale in the group, or Ryan, bro. Just say, Ryan, what are you doing?
He's still buying.
I'm far from a whale, bro. I'm a tadpole.
So this is interesting. Have a look at this. This chart here is a Bitcoin supply distribution by participants. And what it's trying to say is it's a Michael Saylor effect when this guy, Daddy Saylor, came into this space about 2 years ago now. So corporate adoption of Bitcoin has gone parabolic since he came on board. So pretty much you could see here, just mid 2020, when he came on board, the corporate adoption of Bitcoin is just, this is Bitcoin on balance sheets, just gone through the roof. So all of these weak hands selling on this dip is pretty much selling into this smart money in institutions.
Wow. That's a really good chart to look at.
In regards to comparing, I guess this chart allows you to kind of gauge how you should be thinking, really.
Let's jump into government and politics. Tony, you want to take us through?
Yeah, no worries. Let's go. So Justin, Colombia registers first ever real estate purchase with Bitcoin. Finally, we're seeing some real estate, which is for the last 4 or 5 decades has been the number one asset to be buying for your house. You now get to buy it with your Bitcoin. Sammy, what's up?
So you guys have all in property, and if you sell a property, how much fees do you pay to the real estate agents, right? Or how much fees do you pay for the conveyancer, for the land tax and everything like that? All of this done on the Bitcoin network with a smart contract could be done within minutes, eliminating all the middlemen. That's what I think is the huge potential here. It's not that it's big for Bitcoin that it's doing it. It's big for real estate that it's using something that is far quicker, far less gas, and more economical.
Look, we know that Colombia's not the first to do it. There's been some sales happening in the Netherlands. There's some builders in Australia that are accepting Bitcoin for payment, but not so much secondary sales once you've built your house and sold it. So it's really good to see Colombia getting on the train there. But moving on, so one of our favorite news anchors has just jumped out and he said that Bitcoin is not controlled by the banks, and that is the point. And that's one of the biggest selling points to Bitcoin from the start. So when we got involved in 2017, I love the age-old analogy that it's a decentralized network. And I don't need to explain it to you guys, but there's me, there's you, and in between there's a bank, right? Now it's just you and I, okay? And now that it's been screamed in news across the world, eventually, this will be, in my opinion, the way forward. It just makes complete sense. The banks aren't going to like it because they can't control our money, use our money to make money anymore, but tough titties.
What I like about this is Tucker Carlson, one of the Fox News anchors. You got to understand, who watches Fox News? There's a lot of old people, and there's a lot of people that don't know any better, not to judge. But basically, if he's saying it, there's a lot of herd out there that he's going to start believing it. When a tech guy like Elon Musk says it, these type of people aren't really going to pay attention. So this is good for the older generation out there. Ibby.
So in regards to these type of things, like, the banks, you were talked about removing the middleman previously with real estate and removing the middleman, the banking system. Now, that's why I think there's a lot of resistance as well, because they're not kind of prepared to lose their gains at the moment. Do you guys reckon that's why there's a bit of resistance, or
100%, 100,000%?
Slow intake?
I think the banks are coming in. They're coming in hot, and you're going to see that. Last week, how many times did we see BlackRock? We've got Commonwealth Bank in Australia adopting it. You got banking sectors are coming in. JP Morgan, they're coming in red hot.
And attached to that, when I first bought my Bitcoins, I bought it from a Bitcoin ATM inside in the back of a like dodgy looking bottle shop. And it was ages away from my house, and I was just putting cash notes into it, and it was giving me a QR code that I was scanning to go on my phone. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This better be good.
Tony, there's
And now
actually a
it's-
guy inside that little vending machine feeding you bits of paper while you're feeding him money.
Anyway, moving on. Crypto-related lobbying more than doubled to 4.9 million in 2021. But who were the biggest spenders? Sammy, take us through a little bit about this because I'm not really prepared to speak about this one.
Yeah, so you're familiar with lobbying group in America. They've got the biggest lobbying group, and you all know about the National Rifle Association, NRA. They get a huge amount of funding to push their
You don't
agenda.
mess with them, man.
Yeah, they got huge money to push in there. There's lobby groups for pretty much everything in America, and they are a strong economy. So what we're seeing now is we're seeing money going in into this sector for crypto, which is very good because the more that this grows, money really controls the world. So if there's a lot of money in lobby groups for crypto, then politicians are going to pay attention. So it's bullish for the long-term case of crypto. What do you guys think?
And we've got a little smart ass in the bottom saying you couldn't buy an intern with 4.9 million, but progress is progress. Anyway, moving on. Next, Singapore's bond. This is exciting. Singapore's bond with cryptocurrency has become stronger than ever in 2021, with over 1.48 billion in investments completed. Right, which ties into one of the last posts that we've got here. Moving on, we've got Singapore's bond with cryptocurrency has been stronger than ever in 2021, with over 1.48 billion in investments completed. This is great. This just means adoption is happening within Singapore, where a lot of people are moving their money to avoid tax at the moment.
Yeah, if you read,
it's interesting because Singapore has been a very crypto-orientated country for a very long time, and the coin Zilliqa is actually the main foundation of that is in Singapore. And then the main currency, they were thinking of changing it to Zilliqa at one point, but I don't know if that news was just rumors and it just died out. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there just to say how crypto, they're very orientated. Yeah.
What I want to add as well in this article by Cointelegraph, I love the cartoons. It's like he's going to slap something. Singapore saw in the bottom over here, you can read Singapore saw 13 times jump in crypto investments in 2021. There was a lot of money that came in from Singapore from there, and these are rich, wealthy investors, and they are pushing. These entrepreneurs are pushing in the blockchain space, NFT space is big adoption. I mean, it's not some random third world country.
All right, beautiful. And moving on, we've got, which most people already know this would happen in January, but US inflation's hit a 4-decade high of 7.5% of inflation in January. What does this mean for money? What does this mean for the US dollar moving forward? Go ahead, Sammy.
So what I heard is at this rate, compounded, Tony, for the next 10 years, say if you have $100,000 in the bank, in 10 years' time, at that rate, if it's continuing, compounding, you lose 50% of your wealth in 10 years. So that's
I've got one to add on to that. So if you had $10,000 in 2004, 10 grand today, it would be worth 4,300.
Yeah, if it. Oh, okay. Wow, that's big. So our point here, what Altcoin Daily is trying to get to is Bitcoin is an escape against that system. It's the biggest hedge against inflation.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you? And moving on to the last for news in government and politics, breaking, and we already know this, but Russia will treat Bitcoin as a currency. Huge. This is probably going to be the biggest thing since El Salvador made Bitcoin legal tender.
And I think there's a bit of thing happening at the moment with the markets because we see Bitcoin moving green in the past few hours on this first trading day on Monday. It's Russia is pulling some troops back and the Fed hasn't really caused an alarm after their emergency meeting yet. So I think it's all right for the markets. So if Russia backs off, we might get a pump.
Well, that's it for me, Sammy.
All right, let's move on. So what have we got next is Ryan, take us through some company news and institution. What's going on here? Wells Fargo.
All right, let's have a look. Let's have a looky here, boys. All right, let's have a look, boys. So Wells Fargo, crypto could enter an inflection point of hyper adoption similar to the internet.
Huge.
I think that's huge. Yeah,
I agree. I agree with it, like 100%, bro. Including we've mentioned this before, even with the NFTs. The www.com phase, the NFTs. I know it's still we're talking about crypto here, but even like with the NFTs, it's just that www.com phase is happening with the NFTs. Cryptocurrency is now becoming more familiar. We've seen the Super Bowl. What your boys reckon about the Super Bowl?
Before we talk about the Super Bowl, all this means to me is that if they think the .com boom is still to come for crypto, then we haven't seen nothing yet.
We're
True.
early. We're very early.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why it's called Web 3.0, right? This is the next stage. So I think, yeah, we anybody that's in the space at this point is in at a good time.
Yeah, regardless of what the conditions are. If you think long term, yeah, I think we're very early. Let's keep going. Let's catch up on the Super Bowl at the end. Let's jump into it. So Crypto Boys is putting out a very interesting thing. He's saying that the average price that Elon Musk and Michael Saylor from what's the company, MicroStrategy, he said that their average price in Bitcoin is around $30,000. So what he's trying to say is the market knows that, and Bitcoin is probably not going to go to that $30,000. These guys and institutions will not let Bitcoin go below their average price. Something to be aware of.
Wow.
And that's something that we've been looking on the charts anyway, that 30,000 support level there.
It's key level. Wells Fargo is drawing similarities to the adoption rate of the internet, calling crypto early, but not too early. Okay. In other words, get in there, pump these bags up.
Don't sell, boys. Don't sell. Just hold on to your bags.
This is big news for Disney. I think we already know about this one. They're basically hiring a metaverse designer. I wouldn't be surprised if these guys come out in Sandbox or Mana. It's adoption, pretty much.
You already called it. Tony's got the job.
I think some of the artists have already done like some NFTs, Disney artists.
Some, but we're talking Disney themselves going in.
Yeah, that's huge.
Don't know if you guys are familiar with this UFC fighter. I'm not, but UFC champ, this is what he's saying. Bitcoin is better than a bank, decentralized, permissionless, and inflation free. So this comes back to that narrative of who's his audience, young people, sporting people. It's a huge thing because their idols are starting to talk like this. They're going to jump onto it too.
I think just before you move on, and I just want to put it out there, is there any betting system on sports with using, cryptocurrency at the moment?
No, I've never seen that.
I think I heard about an altcoin creating it and using smart contracts, and it's part of a Web3 thing. It's very early stage. It hasn't been released yet, but they're trying to use gambling in it. Cardano was supposed to be a gambling token.
The reason why I bring this up is in the metaverses, coins or tokens like Fun is one of them. They're used as a chip that you can go to the casino in decentralized land, I believe. Don't quote me on this, where you can actually use that to gamble. And I'm wondering whether it's something that they're looking into, to kind of develop and grow their business. Yeah.
I think eventually we're going to see it. So let's roll on. And at the end, if you guys got any comments or anything, throw it in there. Your opinions, whatever you think of these, let me know. Bitcoin miners, exchange traded fund, ETF, started trading on the NASDAQ today. Ticker symbol WGMI. So this is just playing straight into the culture of crypto. They're using these crypto slang. We all gonna make it. So this is Valkyrie putting in an ETF, basically an ETF, a basket of mining companies. So rather than buying the individual stocks of these mining companies, you can just buy the whole basket of these mining companies, right? And the ticker symbol is we're gonna make it.
That is awesome.
I love these guys because Valkyrie is a very institutionalized, controlling a lot of money out there, corporation. It's no joke, but they're targeting that audience. They're saying that, we're one of you. We can adopt your slang. PayPal, this one is dead, but establishes an advisory council to support its crypto and blockchain ambition. So I think they're a bit late to the game here. Remember these guys, 2020, pretty much early adopters of Bitcoin, and you just saw the crypto market go crazy, but they've been quiet ever since.
Is anyone using PayPal these days, man? Is anyone using PayPal these days?
I use it all the time.
Oh, okay.
I use PayPal all the time. Credit card transactions, just because of the policy that they've got that protects buyers.
And
it's just always better to use them.
The reason why I was asking, as a request, can you request, because PayPal's onboarded certain cryptocurrencies, can you ask payment in cryptocurrency?
I think that's only available to US customers, and they recently released it to UK customers. So they're taking it region by region. Let's move on. So what have we got here? JP Morgan in 2017, Bitcoin is a fraud. That's what the CEO of JP Morgan said. And then last year, JP Morgan says investors could make Bitcoin 1% of their portfolio. So it really shows don't listen to it. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. And this is their CEO, Jamie Dimon. In 2017, he said, I would fire traders if they brought Bitcoin. He would fire his own fund managers if they traded Bitcoin. Now in April 2021, to let now he's letting clients invest in Bitcoin. So this guy is, this is huge for Apple. So iPhone's going to make a feature that will enable Bitcoin to tap to pay transactions.
When was this released?
Huge.
Feb 9th? Wow, that went under the radar. Nice.
Nah, it's huge. A lot of people are talking about it. I think I'll see how this goes.
You're in the NFT industry. That's why, Tony. That's why it went underneath.
How does this how would that work? Like you got on your iPhone, you can pay. Like how would you pay?
So Apple will need a wallet for the crypto, whether it's stable coins, USDT, USDC, Bitcoin, Litecoin, whatever cryptos. And then because your phones have got NFC, near field communication, all you got to do is tap and then you can transmit.
Wow, that's hectic.
But the thing is, it will be done over the blockchain and it will be very quick. So if I wanted to send you some USDT, Ryan, like I could go through MetaMask, whatever, log in, do all of that. Or if I've got Apple, the idea is I just tap your phone or take a QR shot and it will be instant. So we're not going through any banks. We're not going through any banks. And I'm sure Apple will take like a 1% fee for allowing you to do that.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
NFC, huh?
Near field communication. The world's largest asset manager, BlackRock. So these guys have got about $10 trillion of assets under management. So the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, to offer Bitcoin and crypto trading. So they're going to offer it to their wealthy clients. So this is huge. Disney earning calls. So last week we had earnings for the company Disney, and they did say that metaverse is a priority and a key pillar of our business's future. So read between the lines. This wasn't from the media. This was Disney saying that.
They're currently in the they're in the crypto or NFT industry at the moment, but I guess entering the metaverse will be upping their game because currently a lot of people are purchasing Disney NFTs through the Vivi app. I'm not sure if any of you boys have bought some.
I like the fact that they're saying it's a priority and a key pillar of their business. They're basically saying we're taking this seriously.
Well, imagine Disney World being built in DCL, for instance. You know, it's a strategic move from their behalf where people can kind of visit and have a look at what the ride looks like, and then they can say, I actually want to go see it in real life. So I think it's a great marketing maneuver from them, if they do go ahead with it.
Also, though, just their fan base, it's all about fantasy and taking people into that narrative of having superheroes. Like, and just imagine how you could execute that in the metaverse.
Yeah, that would
bring people into the, to admire their superheroes.
What do you guys think of this? The list of companies hiring for crypto jobs just keeps on getting bigger.
That's crazy, man.
Look at this. Look at the banks: Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, JP Morgan, banks, Fidelity, institutions.
And people say it's a fad, boys. People say it's a fad.
Yeah, so we're still early.
A lot of bullish news. A lot of bullish news is definitely on the table, but I'm sure we'll come across some bearish news soon.
Uber CEO on TV, I saw this interview. He said, we will absolutely accept Bitcoin in the future. So they are planning on adopting it as well, which is pretty big. This is our billionaire investor, Bill Miller. He is very bullish on Bitcoin. Wasn't in the past, but now he's very bullish. He's kind of like Michael Saylor. He's saying Bitcoin will be adopted by institutions this year. So you're going to see more and more adoption. It's been very quiet under the radar, but so we saw this as well. Companies hiring for crypto jobs. Our boy Crypto has just wanted to remind us that a lot of sporting companies are going hard at it, not just tech companies, not just banking. You got pretty much every sector. I don't know what sector's not in this yet. Like food sector is not yet in it.
The health industry is not in it, Sammy. The health industry is probably one of the, and it'll be very fascinating to see how the health industry will be incorporated into the metaverse, because it's a crucial industry and it's one of the leading industries in the world in regards to finance. So let's see how they play out, right?
Absolutely. Singapore's mega bank DBS, $500 billion in assets to launch retail crypto trading by the end of the year. So this is huge again for all those crazy rich agents. Sorry, Tony?
Well, more big news coming out of Singapore.
Yeah, man. So it's getting real. This is why I think to myself after looking through all of this, it's like what Lark Davis said. We're just not bullish enough. Like, what's going on? So this was from the Super Bowl ad. Coinbase app on the Apple store went from 186th place to the 2nd place after that. Well, when that ad came out from the Super Bowl, and we can talk about it at the end. That was crazy. Banks that have invested in crypto and blockchain companies. So this is what Ryan was saying before, but look at all these. So this is all the banks, and it's not even a complete list of banks because you got small tier banks like Commonwealth Bank of Australia. You got one in New Zealand as well. They're going into it. These are just the big name banks. Let's jump into other news and finish this off, hey boys. So Bitcoin and crypto versus internet adoption. We are at the year 2000 before Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, iPhone, Twitter. Why would anyone sell? That's the message. That's where we are in terms of the life cycle. Internet usage history versus crypto users. So this is the number of users. So internet users versus crypto users. That's how it's ranked. It's pretty big. Number of crypto users, millions. So we haven't even reached 1 billion yet. Ibby, do you want to elaborate on this post?
So I posted this up just purely because I want to know what type of friend you are, because a lot of our friends were saying, I'm done. Like, I'm out. Like, crypto's bearish again. Yeah, that was like, I just wanted to see what people are thinking. What type of friend are you? Are you telling them to keep it in, or are you a friend that you always say, I always pull out? So which friend are you? I'll start from Tony and I'll work my way down. Tony.
I'm the hodler, making sure you don't sell, and you guys know it.
Yeah. So he's always keeping it in. Sammy?
I'm pulling out to save my risk, but I'm leaving some in there.
Okay. And Ryan?
Well, you know, man, I pulled out my I pull out my crypto to play with NFTs at the moment, and then I'm gonna jump back in.
All right. No, good to know.
What was this post? People seem willing to criticize the work of others on crypto Twitter without providing something of their own. I think it's a sign most people believe in this rally. We are at disbelief. Hope is coming. So I always like to end these podcasts on where do you think we're at? I think we've moved up a little bit onto optimism. That's where I'm going to say. Ivy, where do you think we're at?
Last week I was on optimism, and I'm probably still on optimism because I haven't seen the signals are there, the news is there. If you've laid out all these bullish signs, but it just takes one FUD news for all the noobs and all the people in the industry to panic, and then everyone's packing up their bags and going home, and then we see a massive pump. But yeah, I believe we're in optimism still.
Tony, what do you reckon we are?
Well, last week I said we were at complacency, and after seeing you make a good point about how people like Michael Saylor will make sure it doesn't fall below 30K.
That's what we think.
Well, look, it makes sense. Like we can trust in their invested interest, and they've got the power to do. If anyone's got the power to do so. So I'm feeling a bit of optimism, but I'm going to stick with complacency.
Okay, Ryan, where do you think we are in this cycle?
Got no idea. I have no idea. If I was to say, I would say optimism or hope or optimism at the moment, to be honest. Everybody's just a little bit of uncertain where this whole thing's going to go. Like you guys have said, there's a lot of good news out there. There's a lot of really bullish news for the future of crypto and Bitcoin in general. But yeah, it's still looking a little bit shaky out there.
That's a very important perspective to look at it that way, Ryan. The long-term perspective. We keep highlighting that if you think short-term, yes, you may miss out some gains and all that, but in the long term, if you think that, I think you'll do quite well thinking long projection about investing into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
What do we got here? We took a poll here on Twitter and over on Telegram asking if banks getting into crypto is a good thing. Here's how everyone on Telegram responded. So people, 53% said yes, it's a good thing. 31% said it depends. That's probably what I would say. 14% said no. So it looks like majority is thinking that getting the banks involved is a good thing. So interesting. That wasn't the opinion last year.
What do you guys think?
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah,
banks offer custody.
I thought you were in the middle. It depends. Why would you sit in?
It depends what they use it for, because what happens is banks will, if you audit a bank, how do you know that they've got the reserves to back it up? Number one, that's the most concerning thing when we talk about our exchanges like CoinSpot and SwiftX and all these exchanges, because we don't have proof that they actually back up the Bitcoin that they say you have bought, Ryan. They're not independently audited. The only crypto exchange in Australia that's independently audited is BTC Markets and Kraken in the US. That's independently audited, proved by a third party that they are backed. So if their user has $100 million in Bitcoin, they've got it, right? So my concern is we don't know what type of regulations there will be, because the safest custody is in your hardware wallet, like in your hands. That's why you've got custody of it.
Yeah.
So,
good point.
So what they'll do, they lend it out to other people. They earn interest. They give you a little bit of it for being part of it. So we don't know. It's always
Not
been
your keys, not your crypto.
Yeah, so that's my point about it. So this one, poll, what do you guys think? Was 32,000 the final low before a new all-time high?
As I said, I'm a reactive trader, so I react accordingly to whatever the market sentiment is. This statement is a very general statement that I would interpret. So I'm going to say unsure, to be honest. Unsure.
Okay. Yeah. Tony?
I'm unsure, but I don't think it's the lowest we're going to see.
Yeah, that's what I said, Ryan.
Yeah, I don't know.
World.
I'm unsure. Yeah, I'm unsure, man. I don't know what's going to happen.
But what I like to focus is on the herd mentality. If majority of saying one thing, and it's not so much, it's very 30. It's very one third. But majority is starting to say yes. So it makes me think,
Yeah, like Michael Saylor said 30,000 is that they're going to try to keep it up from there. We've talked about the 30,000 being a support line for a very long time, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to crumble. And we previously said too, Sammy, that if we do break below the 30,000, you might as well grab your ball, pack your bags, go home.
Pretty much. Another poll that was taken out by CoinSpot was, will Bitcoin hit an all-time high in the next 12 months, pretty much in 2022? I think it will. There's still potential because we haven't broken 30K yet. So we're getting all the thumbs up here. Nice.
Yeah.
Coin Brew, geopolitical fears weighing on the markets this week. So this was posted on Thursday, I think. Will Russia invade Ukraine? I said no. What do you guys reckon? This is really affecting the global markets.
Nah. I think there's too many outside powers that make sure that Ukraine will be okay.
Interesting thought. Ivy?
No, I don't think the speculations will still keep causing. The markets will react to it, and we'll probably get a bit of more pullback on it, to be honest. But physically, are they going to do it? Probably not. No.
All right, boys. So we're coming to the end of this. We've got 1 minute left. So how about we wrap it up?
Lots of news. Lots of news.
What do you think of the Super?
I didn't watch it. Did you guys watch it?
I saw the ads.
I did. I loved it. Rams did quite well. Great comeback. The halftime show, they just looked pretty old and retired, man. Some of those singers just probably needed to pack their bags and just say,
no. That was legendary. That was like
everyone was going off about it, man. Everyone was saying how amazing.
Hey, I'm always the opposite side, man. If someone's pumping, I'm
you like Ed Sheeran. We don't want to hide it from our audience, but
all right, guys. So hit the like button. That was a bit of a interesting episode, but we'll be here next week.